Please pardon the noise at some point. I don't have a convenient time at the moment, so I just have to roll with it. Yes, so you saw the thumbnail, you know what this is about. The following concept was inspired by the 2005 Xbox logo. I like how it looks. I have liked it from its initial inception, primarily because this was when my friend, a close friend of mine, bought an Xbox 360, and that was my just introduction to the Xbox brand, and it has been a very pleasant one, if I might add. I do like the evolution of the logo, and with this one in particular being the inspiration for this particular product design. And amongst other inspirations, if you're familiar with Alien, the franchise, and the vomorph in particular, and Charles Xavier's X helmet as well, and last but not least, there was this special once-off case that InWin designed, the InWin WINBOT. So I advise you to go check that out. So that was the culmination of my inspiration for the Microsoft Xbox Orbit. Orbit, get it? Harking back to the 360. So essentially this would be what I envision, a limited edition next-gen gaming console, which will perhaps harness the best of AMD's advanced technology in graphics and state-of-the-art chip architecture, if you would. So this is a blueprint diagram of the concept that I envision, and as you can see, as I just previously explained, the X draws inspiration from the ovomorph, the alien egg, and Charles Xavier's X helmet, if you would. Excuse me, I forgot what it's called. CEREBRA, the cerebral helmet, I think along those lines. Anyway, this would be the top grill, or one of two main grills, where one is situated at the top of the console and the other would be located at the bottom. So as we know, hot air rises, there will be a singular extraction fan located at the top to extract hot air from within the chambers of the console, of the orb, and obviously cool air will be drawn in from the bottom. So this is the front view, this is the rear view, and this would be the aerial view, and this would be the side profile. And at the bottom, if you've noticed, this would be where the power supply and the disk drive are primarily located, and perhaps everything that would connect to the internals of the console. I am not by any means an engineer, however I am an aspiring industrial product designer, and I mean, these days you look at Apple's Mac Mini, if you can construct something that small and pack it with state-of-the-art components, state-of-the-art powerful components, and if you can fit all of that in such a small structure, anything and everything is possible. So ideally this would be the size of a standard NBA basketball, so that at least it wouldn't necessarily be that of an obstruction in your living room. It will be a complementary art piece, if you would. And this is a diagram illustrating that flow of air that I spoke of earlier on, where a singular fan located at the bottom of the console would draw cool air from the bottom grill and draw it towards this air chamber that would house the SoC wafer, the aluminum chassis, and the components. There'd be a huge heat sink here, and that would drive hot air out of the console, out of the air chamber, utilizing the singular top fan. So this is a 3D representation of what I have been speaking of. And here, as I explained earlier, would be the top grill, hot air extraction, and this would be essentially the bottom grill, where cool air will be drawn in. Ooh, look at this screen. Does it not remind you of the Xbox Series X? I think it looks cool, the Xbox logo. So yes, these would be the rear extraction grill of the bottom piece, and these would be your ports: Ethernet, 2 USB-C ports, HDMI port, the expansion slot, and your power port. Please do pardon me if I'm going a bit fast. I'm just trying to get a lot done in a specific allocated time. The Xbox branding, and as I explained, this would house the power supply and your disk drive. I know it's 2005. No, 2005. Apologies, it's 2025, and disk drives do matter. Your front two USB ports. This would be your pair button and your disk ejector button. I would like for this to be a backward compatible system where you are able to play your golden oldie games. I think that would be fun. This is your Xbox power button and ventilation grill. So let's just go in for a close-up. This would be the green LED button, LED. This would be the green power LED. Excuse me, strip. I imagine it would pulsate when you switch on the Xbox. Just a light green hue, pardon the bus, stereo noise. As I was saying, that Xbox green hue will just pulsate lightly, drawing you in towards the console. I remember the Xbox marketing department had a campaign a couple of years back that prompted one to jump in and experience the fun through their Xbox consoles. So that was the initial idea behind this green LED, if you would. And on top of that, LEDs are all the rage these days, so I just thought it would be a cool way to indicate that the console is indeed on or powered on, or perhaps in sleeper mode. And these are the internals. These would help with the internal structure, which would form the main air chamber, if you would, of the console, and provide structural rigidity to the whole orb. Right, and this is the Xbox logo. I imagine we could change it if we wanted to, and instead of the Xbox logo you can place Master Chief's icon or a cool Xbox Easter egg. Yeah, as I explained, this would form part of the structural rigidity of the orb and the air chamber. Excuse me. This would be the singular intake fan, drawing cooler air from outside, drawing it inside the console and pushing it through the chassis and the SoC, the motherboard, and this would be your heat sink, your vapor chambers, directing hot air, which would be drawn by the singular extraction fan. As I said, I just hope that this makes sense. I know I'm not an engineer, and perhaps some of these concepts may not make sense. Pardon my phone. Please pardon the motorbike outside. I am not by any means an engineer. However, I imagine that this would, or rather, a model of this. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Been suffering a cold for the past 3 days. Thank you. So, as I was saying, I imagine that this would be possible, right? If brilliant minds could just make it work. So that is a quick video, I hope, of a fantasy limited edition Xbox Orbit gaming console. Thank you for your time.